Okay, wait. Can you say this next time somebody says that? Saying you're not flexible enough to do yoga is like saying you're too dirty to take a bath. Like, you don't have to be flexible to do yoga. If you're not flexible, you probably should be doing yoga.
That's what I'm saying. What if I told you that 1 minute and 11 seconds could change your life? Not a new supplement, not a new workout, not a productivity system, just 1 minute of sitting still and breathing. Today's guest, Carlie Chislof, did not plan to become a yoga teacher. She took a yoga class in college simply to fill a credit, and what began as a physical challenge became a full transformation of her body, her mind, and her spirit. At 25, she took over a yoga studio before she felt ready. She navigated divorce, new motherhood, and personal upheaval. She rebuilt herself through breath, meditation, and radical self-acceptance. But here's what makes Carlie different. When she teaches, it's not just a yoga class. It's an experience. There's something unmistakable about the way she holds space. Her messages are spiritually uplifting without being preachy, grounded but elevated. Practical, yet deeply transcendent. And time after time, students walk out saying the same thing. She said exactly what I needed to hear. It's uncanny. In the middle of a pose, during a breath hold, right when you're questioning yourself, she'll say something about self-worth, letting go, surrendering control, or trusting your path, and it feels like it was meant just for you. She doesn't just guide movement, she guides perspective. She reminds you that the practice isn't about perfection. It's about presence. It's about releasing negative self-talk. It's about remembering you are already enough. In this episode, we explore why yoga activates the parasympathetic nervous system and pulls you out of survival mode, how meditation can begin with just 1 minute a day, breathwork that creates altered, even psychedelic-like states without substances, becoming unbothered instead of trying to control the world around you, why self-love actually fuels growth instead of diminishing ambition, and how slowing down may unlock creativity, clarity, and connection. Carlie blends ancient yogic philosophy, nervous system science, sound healing, and modern spirituality into something deeply experiential. This is not just a conversation about poses. This is a conversation about energy, about vibration, about attention as currency, about becoming present enough to hear your own truth. If you've ever said, I should try yoga, but I'm not flexible, or I don't have time to meditate, this episode may challenge that story, because maybe the breakthrough you're searching for is waiting in your breath. This is my conversation with Carlie Chislof. Let's get into it. Well, welcome to the podcast, Carlie. It's great to have you.
Thank you for having me.
Oh, absolutely. And your father, an incredible chiropractor, Ira Chislof,
Yes.
who I've been seeing for a while, who's in the neighborhood. As a matter of fact, I don't know if you know this, but my wife, Christina Wardauer, said, hey, by the way, there's a chiropractor really close to us. When she was looking up the insurance stuff, when we switched insurance, you ought to probably give him a try. And I said, oh, okay. Well, she gave him a try and got her pinched nerve fixed and all that. And I said, okay, I'll give him a try. Fell in love with him. He's awesome. He's wonderful. My kids go to him. And then your mom mentioned, oh yeah, Carlie, my daughter's into yoga. When I mentioned it, they have a studio. And I said, oh, sure, I'll check it out. And then I finally took a class from you. And boy, was that an incredible experience on so many levels. Mainly because you're so unbelievably positive and spiritually uplifting. And it was really a delight to be in your presence. And every single time I'm there, it's like, it's cathartic, it's spiritual, it's enlivening. And it's really amazing to me. Don't cry yet. I got some more coming your way. But it's really wonderful. And could you tell us a little bit about what drew you to yoga to begin with? Because this was not an obvious thing when you went to college. I heard you kind of got into it in more of a roundabout way, like, oh, I'll take a yoga class kind of at the end of college. And you were kind
Exactly.
of figuring out what you wanted to do. And then all of a sudden, you kind of fell in love with it. Could you walk us through that a little bit?
Yep, that's pretty much the gist of it.
Mm.
But I went to University of Iowa.
Mhm.
I was a communications major,
Okay.
and the whole time I didn't really know exactly what I wanted to do, but I wanted to go to college,
Mhm.
and that just seemed like the easiest route to take. And so I took an extra class in college at the
Okay.
university, just to fulfill an hour, and it was yoga, and I fell in love. My teacher was amazing, and because it was a college course, I did get to learn some like the history and the philosophy and the deeper meaning of yoga that you
Mm.
wouldn't just get just going to a class.
Well, what was it about yoga initially that really drew you in? Was the spiritual aspect or the movement or both or a meditative type of state?
I would say at first it was the physical.
Mm.
It was the physical. I was like proving to myself that I could do things that I didn't think I could do. And that was making me feel good inside.
Like what?
But at first, it definitely was the physical stuff, just the poses and stuff,
Yeah, the
just
poses are not easy.
Yeah, no, it's not. There is some easy yoga. You can
Yes,
go and lay on
for sure.
pillows and all of that if that's what you want. But some of it is really challenging. I tell people all the time when you tell them you teach yoga, oh, you must be flexible. I'm like, yes, and strong. So watch
Right.
out. Like,
Right. That there is a
yes.
lot of strength training that happens in yoga
Yeah.
without question. And I remember when you said, yeah, you should do the next level up. And I said,
Yeah.
okay. And I was able to handle it just fine. And that's really a wonderful thing. And so what else drew you to yoga beyond that? Was there something else?
Well, so it was an evolution, really. So
Mhm.
yeah, it started with just like I enjoyed this class, and it
Mm.
kind of got me into yoga. And then after I graduated, I just kept practicing with no
Mhm.
intention of teaching.
Wow.
And then I was like looking for jobs, getting jobs, feeling unfulfilled. I did work for my dad for a while, which
Mhm.
was wonderful, but just not. There wasn't really anywhere for me to go from there.
Mhm.
So throughout my practice,
Mm.
like people would say things to me all the time in class, like, I watched you the whole time. You're really good at yoga. And
Oh.
I don't know. I just felt there were all these like little nudges as I was practicing,
Mm.
um, that made me feel like maybe I should like take this further.
Mhm.
And so, yeah, one day I decided to get certified, and then everything kind of just fell into place from there, honestly.
Well, I remember though in one class you mentioned specifically about how the instruction it was good and you learned a lot, but you took it upon yourself to create your own mode of teaching. Could you talk a little bit about that?
So, yes, my teacher training, I think, is what you're talking
Okay.
about. So, I feel like most teachers feel like this anyway, coming out of
Mhm.
their teacher training.
Mm.
You never feel ready, which is just like a life thing anyway.
Sure.
Like,
Sure.
I actually just saw this quote that being
Mhm.
ready isn't a feeling, it's a decision. Like
Oh, I like that. I
yes,
like
it
that.
did.
I
And
like
then I
that.
I really like that too. I'm like, it's so true, because how many times do we say, I don't feel ready? It's like you don't have to feel ready. You just have to
You can spend your
decide
whole
to.
life getting ready for something.
Exactly. And
Then
I've learned so many times throughout life is that like, yeah, even if you don't feel ready,
Mhm.
you can still do it anyway. So yeah, so I came out of teacher training, and I did not feel ready.
Mhm.
And I was feeling like I need 10 more teacher trainings and I need all
Mhm.
this stuff, and but I went for it anyway. I'm like,
Mm.
I'm just going to try. I'm going to jump in, and I
Okay.
started teaching at a gym.
Oh.
And so the first class, I was subbing a class, and I wanted to take the class before I subbed it. So I like had a vibe on how the teacher taught and
Okay.
what level it was and all
Mm.
that. And I ended up falling in love with the teacher. She was just like super cool, loved her vibe, and we became friends.
Mhm.
And then she was like, my friend's opening a studio in Park Ridge. You need to come work there once it opens. And I was like, sign me up. I was a brand new teacher. I was
Oh.
like, yes, it's like, it can be hard to get into a studio. It's much easier to get in at a gym, but a
Mm.
studio is like obviously a different vibe.
Mm.
So yeah, I was like, get me in. And so I went over there, started teaching. Shortly after, the owner, her life happened and she didn't want it anymore.
Oh.
And I was only 25. I was like a year and a half into teaching. I knew I was doing what I was meant to be doing at that point.
Mm.
Like I've never stopped loving teaching.
Mm.
It's like I teach a lot of classes and it's been since 2007 now.
Mm.
And it's never gotten old. It's like it's definitely I'm I'm doing what I'm meant to be doing. But that being said, also did not feel ready once again
Mhm.
to run a business.
Mhm.
I felt like I was still a baby yoga teacher and I
Mhm.
didn't know anything about all this stuff.
Mhm.
But it ended up just being like it's something I couldn't pass up.
Mm.
And so yeah, I took it over at 25.
And how did that go? I mean, how was teaching at first for you? Was it like fit like a glove, or was it awkward at first, or how did that go?
So yeah, it's like everything else, like you have to practice the teaching
Sure.
too to get good at it. And like
Sure.
when I audition people still, I tell them the same thing. It's like you only get better by doing it. Like
Mhm.
that's how. But I leaned into it pretty quick.
Yeah.
It was my practice
Mm.
more than my training
Mm.
that that's how I teach. I teach from practice and from experience to this day still.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yes.
That's wonderful because you have a particular, do you find yourself to be particularly unique in the way you teach? Because you are unbelievably empowering spiritually. I mean, I literally would come to your classes just for the empowerment. I don't know if you've noticed. I mean, I go through a catharsis when I'm in your class. Like I kind of try to hide it, but sometimes I sit there and I kind of weep a little bit.
Yeah, I
And
love
it's
making
really
people cry. It's
it's
like my favorite
eh,
thing.
could you talk a little bit about that? What's going on there?
Well, first of all, the practice itself is an emotional release. You know,
Mhm.
physically, we have
Mm.
all these energetic blocks, and when
Mhm.
we do the movement practice, the asana, the
Mhm.
physical practice, it definitely releases stuff.
Mm.
But it's just the perfect environment for all of that.
Mhm.
We breathe, we center, we get present, and
Mhm.
that's when we're a channel for all of that. When you give space for it, you open up for it.
And that's really interesting that you mentioned that you give space because you hold space, for lack of a better phrase. You create an environment. There's a tone there. What's your intention there before each class, and what is the intention of your studio, Sun and Moon Yoga?
First of all, I just really want people to feel like they can come in there and just like be themselves and
Mm.
not feel judged and
Mm.
not feel like it's this like competitive atmosphere where you
Mm.
have to be some
Mm.
certain thing.
I noticed that, and you say that.
It's so important to me. Like, I think for a lot of people, especially who are new to the practice,
Mhm.
they're scared to come in, you
Yes,
know?
absolutely.
It's intimidating. And
Because they think, "Oh, I'm not gonna be able to do this. I'm not
yes.
flexible." And you're
Yes. Or
like, "You
everybody has a certain type of body weight or is gonna be wearing a certain type of outfit, or I'm not all the things. I'm not good enough for this. I don't know what's it gonna be, all of it.
totally,
Yeah.
yes."
So I really that's like my main thing.
Mm.
I want it to feel like we know your name. We care. We want you to like you're not just another client. Like
Mm.
it's a family over there.
Yes.
It really is. And just to like kind of go back too, because it's been an evolution
Mm.
to the mindset and the spirit and stuff. So many people come into yoga because they want to gain flexibility. And then that other stuff happens.
Yes.
Then all of a sudden they're like, oh my God, why am I crying? Or I've never felt this way. Or like, what is this? Yes. So that's how it happened for me too. It was a physical thing and it evolved. It's still evolving. And I've changed and grown so much through the years, but I think, that other stuff comes first. It's like, I saw this picture of it was a picture of a beginner yogi and an advanced yogi, and the beginner yogi was in a handstand and the advanced yogi was sitting in a meditative seat. And I know that sounds backwards, but that's how it goes. We start like getting deeper takes longer and it's more advanced. The mind stuff, the spirit stuff, like that takes practice and consistency, and I feel like it takes time sometimes to get there, or maybe you're not coming for that in the first place and you find it anyway. But for me, it's definitely it started physical, and over time, all this stuff just like happened that guided me deeper to spirit.
Was this getting into yoga? I mean, would it be safe to say that this sparked a spiritual transformation for you?
100%.
Could you talk a little bit about that in terms of, I mean, do you meditate? Did you become more spiritually awake? How did that play itself out?
So I would say, like I said, first, the yoga was like, it made me feel, I loved myself physically at first. Like it brought me a new self-love. Like I loved my body. I never thought that I would actually want to be up in front of people like for something that had to do with my body. Like that was an insecurity of mine my entire life.
Oh, interesting.
So yoga brought me this body love. I was like, I was good at this, and it was my body that was even like good at it. And I grew, and I proved to myself, that I could do things like I never thought I could do. To this day, I'm like, I still can't believe I'm like, oh my God, I could do this.
Yeah, you're very strong it's amazing watching you move and the poses that you can hold so effortlessly, and your balance. It's really remarkable.
Yeah. So it started there, loving my body. And then, when I really got into meditation was when I was like going through a really hard time in life. I was going through my divorce, and I had just had a baby.
Oh.
There was a whole lot of stuff going on. I felt like everything was falling apart, and I honestly didn't know what else to do. So I decided to just sit and be quiet. And I started with 1 minute and 11 seconds a day
Of
just sitting and breathing and being quiet. That was it. Because, we all think we don't have time. Like, I don't have time to meditate. I'm not waking up early to do this, blah, blah, blah. So I'm like, I'm just going to start small.
And was this after you had started yoga? This was,
yes.
You're well into it.
Well into it. So
got it.
I meditated and did breath work and all that other stuff, and had definitely already become spiritual, but it wasn't like I wasn't dedicated to that practice like I am now. This has been about like 7 years now that I've been meditating pretty much every day, every morning.
And so this beginning part you did for a minute or so.
I did for a minute, and then it grew only because it was feeling good and I wanted to do more.
And what did it provide for you?
It was, oh my God. It did give me this space for peace. And it's so crazy because you think my mind won't stop, especially when I'm going through all this. Like I don't remember exactly what it was at first, but I just knew I wanted to keep showing back up. And then I did it for longer and longer. And then I would do guided meditations on YouTube. And then a friend guided me to breathwork. And that was like, that just changed the game for me.
Okay, could you talk a little bit about that? Why? What was breathwork like? What did it provide? And what does breathwork in general provide for people?
So much. I mean, connecting to the breath. When you connect to your breath and you're aware of your breath, you're present. Hold 2. Out the mouth. Exhale 2, 3, And it's our life force. In yoga, we call it prana.
Oh,
It's our
okay.
life force. It's our energy. It's one and the same. It's the first thing we do when we come into our body. It's the last thing we do when we leave it.
Oh, that's a good
It's,
point. Yeah, that is.
yeah, yeah. It's everything. But yeah, just like even on a physical level, when your mind is on your breath,
Mhm.
your mind is in your body and you're in the present moment.
Mm. And that's really
But
the key, being
yeah,
present.
yes. But then there's this psychedelic breath work and DMT breath work, and it's a more active style. And that has just made my whole body vibrate and opened me up to this connection to the universe like no other.
Do you do that every day?
Yes, I do that every day, and then I meditate.
Oh.
Yes.
So the DMT breath work, you said you dropped the word psychedelic.
Yes.
Could you
It
expand on that?
definitely, I mean, it's a different experience for everybody. Everybody has their own experience
Of course.
with everything.
Sure.
But yeah, my whole body vibrates. I'm tingling. I felt like I've been floating. I've cried tears of joy and gratitude. It feels like it really connects you to source. That's what I would say.
So, but what makes it psychedelic? I mean,
So you do, there's all different styles, but
Okay.
it's like this active breath work. You can do it in the nose or out the mouth. You do
Okay.
it for a while. And then there's breath holds. You hold at the top or at the bottom, and
Okay.
the length of time grows. Like sometimes you'll do a 2-minute breath hold at the bottom of the breath.
Huh.
Um,
And does this alter your state of mind such that it would be somewhat similar to taking a substance that would be a catalyst for
Yes,
psychedelic
yes. People do
experience?
medicine ceremonies to get to these places, and I think you can totally do it with the breath.
Wow. And so how did you hear about DMT breath work?
So have you ever heard of Wim Hof?
Yes,
Yes.
sure.
So originally, one of my yoga teachers and friends, who's been such a guide to me, we did some of the Wim Hof breath work. I had like an amazing experience. I did it on my own. This was actually really crazy.
Okay.
I was doing this breath work, these deep breaths and breath holds, and I was sitting on my couch, and my TV was like, it was on, but there was nothing playing. So like there was a background on the TV, and like the time was like bouncing around on the TV. Do you know what I'm talking about? When
Yeah,
you like
kinda.
leave it on and
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
whatever. Like
Yes.
just like there was whatever time and words bouncing around on the TV. And I was not wearing my contacts or my glasses, and I have terrible vision.
Okay.
I opened my eyes after this breath work, and I could read the TV, and it was like clear as day. I was like, what is happening?
What?
And then it blurred up again. And I mean, I need my glasses again, but I was like, yes, I swear to God. I've had so many like awakenings and crazy times, and just like in my basement, or yes.
That's heavy. I've never heard of that.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I was more looking
do
for
some
are you
breath work.
are you tripping like you just took some
I mean,
mushrooms
it's-
or some ayahuasca? But no, you're like your vision cleared up.
Yes. Like, I mean, I don't know I can't say what anybody else would experience, but yes, it does take you to like another place. You journey to, yes.
What do you think students get from your classes at your studio when they're in with you leading that's unique and separate and apart from any other instructor? Because I can tell you, I definitely feel it in myself, but I'm wondering, what do you think students get from your classes?
I mean, I guess that I'm hoping that they receive what I experience from my own practice. Like if I could offer that, if somebody else could go to that level, if somebody else could love their bodies, love themselves, I really try to, mindset's a huge thing. The way we
Right.
talk to ourselves and the way we think is everything, and letting go of negative self-talk and just realizing that we can let go of our old stories, and we really are limitless. Yeah, I just really, what I want is to guide people to their own power. Like, I think we all are so much more powerful than we know, and that we are all trying so hard by doing this is what I've discovered from sitting down there in my basement, is that we're all trying to do all these things. We're efforting so hard, and I'm like, this is my time where I feel like it's more like sitting down there and doing nothing, but it's not nothing, but meditating and breathing instead of trying so hard to fix everything will change your life, changing your mind and the way you think and letting go of all of that stuff. And it just happens through the practice too. Like it's, I can't even explain how it happens that you love yourself by just breathing, but it is. And it's more than that too. We talk about it,
Sure.
but yeah, that people know their own power and that know that no matter what has happened before, you can have a good life. You can be happy. You can love yourself. You deserve to be happy, and we're all worthy of that because we were born.
So many people are I've heard, people say, "Oh yeah, I should get into yoga," and they never do.
Yeah.
So what would you say to folks who are in that place? Like, what specifically could it provide for them if you were talking to somebody on the street and they said, "Oh, yeah, you're into yoga? Oh, why? Yeah, I was thinking about doing it. Well, why should I do it?" What would you say? I mean, yes, you've listed all these wonderful things,
Right.
but what would you say to somebody who's a little bit, I don't know if they're hesitant or skeptical or if it really could be so transformational as you say. Well, what
Right.
would you say to them?
I mean, you can only guide a horse to water. You can't
Right.
make it drink.
Of course.
And I think that, timing is always divine and we'll get there when we're meant to. But I just think like I would say, if you want to feel good, do yoga. That's what I would say. If you want to feel good, do yoga.
But it's not gonna be comfortable at first.
That is true.
Yeah, I mean, there's no
Yes.
question about it because most of our lives in this country are pretty sedentary and we
Yes.
lack flexibility.
Yes.
Most people don't stretch on a regular
Yes.
basis. But there's something about doing it in a group setting that's extremely motivating, like
Yes.
naturally.
The community connection.
Yes,
Yes.
and that is really, really important when you're around other folks because I can never do it by myself. I have to
Yeah.
go somewhere and be in the space. And you also offer
We live stream.
yeah,
Yeah.
you do, which
Yeah.
is helpful. But for me, I probably wouldn't do it. I still would be
Yeah.
like, yeah, I'd be
Yeah.
distracted. It's
Right.
got to be a kind of a focused thing.
Yeah.
And so, how do you try to, what do you do to enhance the environment to get people to be really present to where they are and what they're doing in your particular studio, and as opposed to what you've seen in other studios?
Okay. Well, I always make sure to set the vibe. I clear the space with
hmm
sage or Palo Santo. We smudge.
Mm. What does
Yes.
that do?
It clears the space energetically.
Oh,
Yes.
oh,
Yes. You
okay.
light. So the sage clears the energy, and
hmm
the Palo Santo brings a positive energy
hmm
in. Yes. So I do that, and then it also smells good. And I don't know if you knew this, but your sense of smell is most strongly tied to your memory. So when you
Oh.
come in and you smell that stuff, and then you come in consistently, you come in, you smell it, and you just know it's time to breathe and relax, and it's yoga time, and it all just like helps get you there even quicker.
Mm.
But yeah,
I never noticed that actually.
yeah, yeah. And I mean, yeah, we have everything there that you need. We have bamboo floors, we have skylights.
Oh yeah, I noticed that. Yep.
Yes, we have pretty lights. It just like because of all the energy in the space
hmm
too, it feels so good in there. I just
Yes.
always feel like I walk in and it just feels good. People walk in and just take a breath.
Yes.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I notice what I really notice is the interaction with people after the session.
Yes, that's what I was gonna say, how you were saying, like, it's not comfortable. So, yes, we challenge ourselves in the
hmm
practice, and it does
Yes.
get a little uncomfortable, but
Yes.
also that's where the magic happens, and that's
Mm.
where we meet ourselves.
Mm.
But regardless of that, we have Shavasana at the end. And I don't know if you guys know what Shavasana is,
Please
but
tell us.
it's what a lot of people come to yoga for. It's the final pose. It's corpse pose. And you lie there and it's like integration time. It's where everything we did gets to settle in and become a part of us. And I just feel like no matter what you went through the whole time, at the end of that, you do get to feel good. Like that's the thing. So there are moments of discomfort for sure, and moments where you might feel like I can't do this or what am I doing here? But then I swear 10 times out of 10, like we come out like feeling good,
Yeah.
feeling better.
Well,
Yeah.
what you're talking about is really, it makes me think about something that just kind of rattles around in my head over and over and over again. In that, in our culture, where it's almost hard to justify taking a break.
Right.
Kind of feel like we're on this hamster wheel and we got to be productive and we've got to do this and that and be a wonderful parent and play all our specific roles. And what you said before about, starting meditation, I'm going to give myself a minute.
Yeah.
Or a minute, how many? 11 seconds or whatever.
I mean, that's just because I love angel numbers.
Yeah. Okay. And I'm going to take that time for myself. And then it became more and more and more. So I think what you're pointing to is becoming comfortable with actually giving ourselves what we need.
And also not making it this huge mountain you have to climb either. Like that's the thing that creates resistance for me a lot of times is thinking about the mountain. Like I can't do all that and I don't want to do that, but I can do a minute. I have a minute. Who doesn't have a minute? Like we spend way more than a minute scrolling, you've got a minute. So if you make it something that you can commit to that doesn't feel like a mountain, I just feel like it makes it takes the resistance away. I know I can sit still for a minute. I can try this for a minute.
And if you could talk to people about your experience during doing yoga and what it instills in you and potentially people who come to your studio, what is it going to do for their mind? Are they going to be more active and willing to take time out for themselves? Are they going to be more peaceful? Are they going to be more inspired? Because I know personally, I get pretty creative. Oftentimes when I'm coming home from one of your classes, I'm like, got my phone going and I'm
Divine channel opened up.
I'm documenting my ideas that are happening right there. And I feel an urgency to do so because they're like very powerful ideas. Do you know what I mean? Could you speak a little bit to that?
I mean, of course, that's like the dream. I hope that people come out feeling inspired and creative and present and loving themselves and peaceful and connected. That's what I get from it. And that's the dream. That's what I really do hope people come out feeling like that. And some people tell me they do and everyone doesn't share. So I don't always know, but thank you for receiving that. That's literally the dream, as like, that's what I want people to connect to their power.
Well,
I want you to, the creative juices are flowing. The channel is open. That is when we are receptive. That's when we are in spirit, inspired in spirit. That is, that's why you've taken the time, you've slowed it all down. You're connected to heart, to truth. That's what yoga is too. It's being authentic. It's connecting to your truth, honoring who you truly are. And we're all too busy to even know who that is these days.
Yeah. Well, it kind of seems to get you off the hamster wheel and get you present to just life in general, present to yourself.
Yes.
And that's a super healthy structure. And along with meditation, what type of meditation do you do?
So this is the thing. I start all of my classes pretty much the same way these days because this is how I've been doing it and it's been magical. And it's just a combination of things that I've learned. But this is how I pretty much start all of them. We start feeling our breath and I tell everyone to feel grateful for their breath, grateful that they're breathing, grateful that they're here in their bodies, grateful that they can move, grateful that they have clothes on their back, grateful that like all the little things. So we start right there with gratitude, which is healthy, which is high vibrational, and it's the opposite of stress, and it's
I'm running
good
through
for
my list
you.
right now.
Exactly.
Okay.
And then that's what happens. What we focus on grows. So we
Yes.
start thinking about and all these things. Yes. And isn't that beautiful? Instead of all the things that we're worried about and all the things that we're freaking out about, which
Yeah.
also happens when we start focusing on that stuff flows too. Whatever
Yes.
we focus on
Yes.
grows.
Yes.
Your attention is really your currency. Like it really is. Yeah. Like
I'm going to
what
use
you're,
that. I like
oh,
that.
I heard that in a podcast a while ago. That your attention is the most valuable thing you have, and that's why they call it paying attention, and that's why companies pay billions on
Yes.
advertising for your attention.
Yes.
Yeah.
Wow. That's pretty
Yeah.
heavy.
Yeah.
I like that phrase.
I mean, it's been said by so many people in so many ways. Where awareness goes, energy flows.
Yes.
You
Yeah.
know,
I like that one.
Yeah.
Because it rhymes.
Yeah.
So
And
you can
it's just,
drop a
it's
bar.
so true. Whatever you like, even if you just bring your focus to your pointer finger, you're going to feel it like you probably didn't even notice it was there a minute ago.
Totally.
You know what I mean? So, yeah.
So it's incredible that for people who don't really know about yoga, or you just kind of think of it as over there, that's what, those type of folks do, hippie types or whatever, or the vegans or whatever.
Yes.
I mean, the way I view it is yoga is for anyone.
Oh, yes.
And it's being, from the athlete. I remember distinctly when my son was looking at colleges, and one of the colleges actually not too far from here wanted him to play baseball, and they were actively recruiting him, and they showed us all of their training facilities, and one of the things they said, and yeah, and this is where we do yoga. I was like, what?
Yes.
Really?
I love that.
I couldn't.
Yes.
That's a very enlightened mind.
Yes.
And also that yoga, I just saw something, an article the other day that yoga is being introduced in a prison. And I thought to myself,
Amazing.
my God, the power that could cultivate in transforming those
Seriously.
minds. And, could you speak a little bit to that yoga is really for anyone? And I think if anybody could reach just about anybody, it would be you. Yeah, you're very unique.
Thank you.
You've got a power and a persona. I've taken other yoga classes. I've never ever been enthralled and feel that inspired and that cleansed and that nourished and cared for and challenged and vibrating on such a high level as with you.
Yes.
I'm serious. And I wouldn't, I don't blow smoke up people's butts ever, and so I appreciate that a lot in a very, very real way. So thank you for that.
Thank you.
So, but what is it about? Like, what do you, I don't want you to, toot your own horn, but like, what are you bringing to the table such that you can do that? Is because you've been through the fire and you've gone through this transformation. You're simply just very called to share it. Is that basically it, or is there something more?
I mean, yeah, I guess.
Uh-huh.
Like I said at the beginning, I know that I'm doing what I'm supposed to be doing.
Yes, you
And
are.
I do feel like when I'm up there, like I am channeling something. Like it just it pours through me. And sometimes I don't even know like where it came from, It really does. It pours through me. I know the creative process. It's like when it pours through you, it's just, and that's how I feel. That's how I feel every time, like no matter how many people are there.
So many times you've said just the thing that I needed
And
to hear. And I'm
people
like, how the
always
hell did you
think-
know that?
people
It's like you're talking
always
right to
say
me.
that.
Really?
People always say that. How did you say exactly what I needed to hear?
Yes.
How did you know exactly what I was thinking? How did
I'm just
But
getting
it's
present to that
because-
right now.
It's because we're all divine channels, and the practice practice is a co-creation, and we
mm.
are channeling one another. Like, and yeah, that's part of it. You can't be where you're not meant to be, and everyone's gonna get from it what they're meant to get from it. Like, I love Abraham Hicks, and
Oh yeah, I was gonna.
yeah,
Okay.
yeah, she says that. Like, I went to one of her workshops, and
Oh.
she calls people up and asks them questions, and she says at the beginning, even if you don't get called up in some way or another,
Mm.
your question will get answered. Like,
Mm-hmm.
everybody is going to get what they're meant to get that's here. And I feel like that just everywhere that we're a part of the co-creation that's going
Mm-hmm.
on, and we're drawing the energy from one another, and that's how it all happens. Every practice is a co-creation. It wouldn't be the same if you weren't there, or they weren't there, or they weren't there.
Right.
But yeah, it does. It definitely, it pours through me. And I don't know, it's hard to explain exactly what I do. I would say come take a class is the best way.
Yeah.
You can really, because you got to feel it
And you
to
said,
know.
yeah, oh, for sure. No doubt about it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's in the experience without
Yeah.
question. And so, and for you, you've said things to me like, oh, I love having you in the class. And I'm like, okay, what'd I do? I didn't say anything. I didn't do anything.
You got that energy. I can tell.
And that's what I was wondering. Like, how are you picking up on this? I mean, we can all pick up on each other's energies. And I think you're probably more in tune than most.
I can tell you are connected to spirit.
And
even before I knew, I don't know how I know. I don't know.
And I think I have a feeling that from doing this, leading classes, doing it on a regular basis, having this as a structure in your life, I think this just kind of tunes you into certain frequencies that become stronger over time.
Exactly. Practice makes progress. Like, that's...
I like that instead of perfect.
Practice makes progress. And what we think all the time and what we speak all the time becomes our truth. Exactly.
Practice makes progress.
Exactly, because that's what we say in yoga all the time. It's a practice, not a perfection, we say in yoga. It's not about being perfect. It's about being where you are.
Well, something
yourself.
that's really enrolling about you is that you regularly point out that that's what it is. It's a journey rather than a destination.
Yeah.
And that gives me like a freedom to just be wherever I'm at, and it's okay.
And you can rest, or you can skip things, or you can modify. Or if it was an active class and you just wanted to come soak up the vibes, like, you could do that at Sun and Moon Yoga too. Like, we give you permission to just fully be as you are.
Well, you're active at it, and you're very good at it, because even though I can understand that in concept, I was a competitive athlete, most of my life. And so it's hard to not, so-and-so's doing a pose there. It's hard not to compare just in general.
Yes.
But in your place, I'm able to do that pretty easily. Like, I don't even think about it.
I love it.
And it's really amazing. And I'm okay if I can't do a pose, because I'm on my journey and I'm loving myself.
And we can be inspired by what other people can do.
Sure.
We can look over there and be like, oh, maybe one day, or that's amazing, but not envious. You're exactly where you're meant to be. And like, the prize isn't even in the pose anyway. Like, you can do an amazing handstand and be a shitty person. You know what I mean? Like, it's not, or have a terrible life. You know what I mean? Like, it's not, the prize isn't in the pose. It's the journey of getting there it is. It's the journey, and it's, allowing yourself to ebb and flow and be where, and loving yourself even when you fall. That's part of it too. Like,
I'm envisioning this almost like a cartoonish type of moment where, like, all of this energy is coming into me when I'm at your studio, and it's just power, energy, and power just soaking into me, and me being okay more and more with wherever I'm at, wherever I'm going, and being accepting of myself. And that's really, I think, ultimately what it comes down to, acceptance with oneself. And I think when people are nervous about coming into a situation like this. I mean, I remember I was talking to a guy at the gym about this just a few months ago, and I mentioned yoga and your classes and how wonderful they are. And he right away said, "Oh, I can't do yoga. I'm not
Oh my
flexible."
gosh.
And I was like,
Okay, wait.
"You
Can you say this next time somebody says that? Saying you're not flexible enough to do yoga is like saying you're too dirty to take a bath. Like, you don't have to be flexible to do yoga. If you're not flexible, you probably should be doing yoga.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. It was kind of
But
a ridiculous.
everyone thinks that. That's like, oh my gosh, as a yoga teacher, that's so cringe. I'm like, no, stop.
Right.
Yeah.
And so people are automatically get to a point or stop themselves where they think, "Oh, well, I'm not good at this, so I shouldn't be doing this." And there's an amazing freedom in realizing you don't know how to do something and you just get on the court anyway
That's
and
how
you
you
try.
learn. Exactly.
Yeah, and but to embrace that process. It's
Right.
it's an elevated way of embracing that process. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. It's wild too. You got me thinking about like, because the practice is what teaches us that we're good enough just the way we are. And
Mhm.
people are scared to come because they don't think they're good enough.
Yeah. Yeah.
So it's like we gotta get them feeling good enough a little bit, I guess, before they come through the door. How do we do that?
And the
You know what
moment
I
people
mean?
do come through your door,
That's
you
the
are
thing.
very, very aware. You're acutely aware more
Yes.
than most, is that's what I'm saying.
We're
To
gonna make you feel comfortable.
Yes.
Yes, like it's gonna be okay. You do whatever you can do. And I say that to everybody, whether it's somebody that like whether it's a yoga teacher or a brand new yogi, like honor yourself, do whatever feels good. That's what we do here. Like just
Yes.
the other day, this
Mhm.
this person came in. I just had this surgery. Like, I don't know what I can do. Like,
Mhm.
I'm gonna hide in the corner and just like do whatever I can do. And then right after that, another person came in. I'm feeling a little, I'm gonna hide in the back. And I was like, you guys don't have to hide. You don't have to hide here. You like part of the practice is honoring ourselves. You don't have to hide in the corner. Let it inspire someone else
Mm.
to honor themselves, you
Mm.
know? It's crazy. You think like skipping something would be easier than doing the hard thing. But for most people, it's like skipping the thing is way harder. Like skipping the challenging part is a lot harder for people because ego gets involved. They're like,
Yeah.
I have to do it all, otherwise I'm not good enough. And it's like, that's the whole practice is letting that go. You're
Mm.
good enough
Mm.
because you exist, really. Like you don't have to earn it. You don't have
Mm.
to earn it. You don't have to
Mm.
push so hard to be good enough. You're good enough just as you are. And when you realize that, like some people might think that might make us all lazy if we think we're good enough just the way we are. I have personally found that it just makes you grow more. It just makes you think you're worthy of more and do more. Like
Could
it's
you expand on that a little bit? Any examples in your life where that happened, where you got the ego out of the way and you accepted yourself, and that it allowed you to broaden your horizons?
I mean, so many times in life, but yeah, just the practice. I honor myself. I'll take rest. I'll stop in child's pose. I'll
Mm.
skip the vignette, the hard parts. And
Mm.
sometimes, you know,
Mhm.
when I feel called to,
Mhm.
and I just feel like allowing myself to do that has only grown strength, has only allowed me to go further when it's time.
I had kind of have a feeling though that you becoming a yoga instructor and you having your own business, and now you are conducting, this as almost like a conductor of a symphony does, where you're very aware of all the moving parts in your class and your business. I think that's a huge example of what you're talking about, where you have accepted yourself and allowed yourself to grow in this way and take it on, even despite the fact, or despite the idea that maybe you didn't think you were ready.
Totally.
Mhm.
My whole life has been an example of yoga is life and life is yoga. And
Mm.
I've been living it. Like
Mhm.
ever since the practice and I found each other.
And how long has it been about now?
So it was in college. Took the class in 2004. more.
Okay.
And I have been consistently practicing since then. So yeah, 21 years. Like I said, obviously it has been an evolution.
Sure.
It's
Absolutely.
yes, but I really have found that it just yoga's life and life is yoga. And when you open your heart, things flow in.
Mm.
When you accept yourself, I can't even explain it. It's like
Well, you already have in a huge way, and I just like what I'm wondering, even beyond this spiritual aspect, and you know, and in line with the physical aspect, what can this do for people's overall health when they practice on a regular basis? I mean, I would imagine because this positive energy is flowing
yeah.
through you, and I very much adhere to energy flows and the
Yes.
power of energy.
That's what I was gonna say. You can feel the energy too. Don't act like you can't. Like
Oh,
you totally yes.
absolutely. Oh,
Just
for
even just the fact that you're like, oh, you like I'm sure you felt my dad's energy. You know,
absolutely.
he's got that same yeah, like you can just tell he's a good spirit. He brings a vibe.
Absolute,
Some
absolute.
people don't even have to you don't have to say anything to feel that, you
Yeah,
know. Yeah.
absolutely. And so, what can yoga provide for people health-wise, just in general? Like, for instance, with their nervous system, with their level of stress,
Yes.
and how
Yes.
that can, you know, extrapolate into other areas of their life.
I mean, first of all, yoga is a game changer.
Mm.
It will change your body and your mind and your heart and
Hmm.
your life if you really if you practice consistently enough and you show up for yourself like that. But yeah, we activate the parasympathetic nervous system,
Okay.
which triggers the relaxation response,
Hmm.
which means we are not stressed, which means we're not producing all this cortisol.
Mm.
And that is good for our health. I'm sure you've heard before
Yes.
that stress is like the biggest thing that creates disease. So
Yes.
if
And
we can
inflammation, I would
de-stress and
imagine.
relax and stop living in survival mode,
Mm.
it changes everything. Yeah. And it's so good for our health. That's why I make people at the beginning. I think this is one thing that I offer that's kind of unique in my classes
Hmm.
that I really do the breath work and the meditation and the gratitude stuff at the beginning every
Mm.
time. And I stick to that and I take time for that stuff because I think the mind stuff and the inner stuff is just as important as the body stuff. A lot of people
Yeah.
do all the physical stuff
Yes.
and then they miss the mind stuff and they miss the heart stuff. And you need all the parts.
Hmm.
And that's what yoga does. It's all the parts. It's the body, the mind, and the spirit. We get it all. 5,000 something years ago, when yoga came about,
Mm.
they did the posture part. It's called asana. That's that limb of the practice is called asana, the postures.
Oh, okay.
And that part was only created so that the yogis could sit comfortably in meditation for hours,
Mm.
because that is the important part of the practice. That's, yeah,
I didn't
yes.
know. I didn't know that. What other parts of the history of yoga should we know, or should our
Well,
audience know?
there's pranayama,
Okay.
that's the breath work, there's
Okay.
asana,
Okay.
that's the postures,
Okay.
there's meditation, there's
Mm-hmm.
concentration, there's prayer, there's so many different levels of yoga. And that's why it is for everybody and for everybody, because you can find there are so many different levels and styles. And you know what? Some people don't resonate with my classes. Some people think I talk too much. Some people think I'm too spiritual or too whatever, or maybe not traditional enough. Some people
Oh.
everybody
Oh.
doesn't resonate
Oh. Mm.
with my
Mm-hmm.
but I think I don't think that should stop you. There's different styles and different teachers and so many different
Mm.
layers of it that you could connect with.
Do you think that that's really interesting, because yeah, of course everybody is unique, and what resonates with one person may not resonate with somebody else, but it seems that in line with loving yourself and getting your ego out of the way, it also just kind of collaterally will instill a sense of humility in people that's really positive, and would probably, you know, you could kind of extrapolate that to having people more peaceful and lowering conflict in our society. Could you talk a little bit about that?
Well, I believe that the world is a mirror to us.
Mm,
And if we love ourselves, we'll just be seeing through the eyes of love, you know?
mm,
That's why, like, first thing, it's self-concept. You gotta love yourself
mm,
and be confident enough to shine your light. That's what the world needs. But when we love ourselves, like, I think that's another like misconception that people think if we love ourselves too much that we are egotistical or
mm,
something.
mm,
But that's another thing that I think just no, the more you love yourselves, the more you see through the eyes of love, the more you love the other, the more you know that we're all connected. And
mm.
yeah,
I guess it's a matter of how you define it. You know, what your view of self-love is. I mean,
yeah,
if it's egoless self-love,
right.
that's a beautiful thing.
Exactly.
But if it's really about being vain, well, then that's a different thing
Totally.
that doesn't really help you
Exactly.
or anybody else.
Exactly.
Oh, that's wonderful. And so now you also offer sound healing
Yeah.
at your yoga studio. Why do you do that? What could I possibly do? That sounds
Yeah, we were
crazy.
chatting a little bit about this at the beginning before we recorded. I vibration. That's what
Mhm.
it's all about,
Mhm.
baby.
Mhm.
Vibration. Yes. Um, so yeah, we've had sound healings for years at the studio, different
Mhm.
people coming in and for we have different types of sound healings.
Mm.
But I've had incredible
Mm.
experiences just like yeah, connecting to spirit, going on journeys, just feeling so good, feeling my own vibration.
Mm.
Also and I know a lot of people have had amazing experiences with that stuff. So it's just another way, yeah, for
What does it
people.
look like? I mean, does somebody come in because we had a sound healer on here, Adrian Garcia, who's wonderful, who does actual sound healing at a yoga studio in the city in Chicago, and do they bring a variety of different instruments in your studio? How does that work?
Yes. So, it depends which sound healing you're coming to,
Sure.
but we have this guy, Preston Click. He's the gong man. He's amazing. And
Okay.
he has a giant gong and then a whole bunch of other instruments. He has an ocean drum. He has flutes.
Oh,
He has hand pans. He has crystal bowls. He has like these things that sound like fairies twinkling over you. I don't even know what it is.
really?
Yes, it's amazing. And he actually, so this is just again, all of these things, like it's individual experiences.
Mm-hmm.
So
Mm-hmm.
what one person feels and experiences could be totally different than another.
Mm-hmm.
Some people could have a bad experience, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you know, it's like you go on you go on a journey, a little trip. So maybe not. But he has this part where he gets super loud and it's like
Really?
it's pretty intense. And I always feel like that's me going through the shadow, going
Oh,
through the hard times.
oh,
And
oh,
then
oh,
and then the twinkles come and it's
oh.
like the light comes and it's beautiful. He puts on an amazing sound
So how
healing.
long do those last about?
About an hour.
About an hour. And
Yeah.
what are people doing? Lying down?
Yes. So you can sit or you can lie down, however you're
Mm-hmm.
comfortable. Preston's awesome because he brings all of these pillows, eye pillows, cushions, all this stuff. We
Okay.
also have a lot of that stuff at the studio
Mm-hmm.
as well, but he brings his own stuff. And then some people bring their own stuff to be comfortable, crystals to soak up the energy.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, for that specific gong meditation, you just sit there and soak up the sounds. There's no movement. But then I have a special event called Manifesting Magic with
Oh,
a sound healer
okay.
and musician. His name's Musical Mindset. He is amazing. And we do this whole event. It's so good. We're actually doing another one next Friday, February 27th.
Okay.
Um, but it's meditation, it's breath work, it's a yoga flow, and a sound healing. And the whole thing is accompanied by live music and sounds.
Wow.
Yeah, it's
When is that?
it's incredible. We do it every so often, but our next one is scheduled February 27th,
Okay.
next
So
Friday, and
noted.
it's gonna be
Adam, please write that down.
Yes. Yes, if you can come, oh my gosh, it's so good. It's one of my that is actually my favorite thing to teach right now. Like it's so good.
So, okay, so during that, are people lying down and then also doing some yoga? And how
Yes.
long
So
does
this
each
one
one
has
last or
movement
so?
incorporated.
Oh,
It's a whole we do a whole bunch of things. So
oh,
we start with some meditation and some gentle breath work,
oh,
and it's a little bit different every time, but we do
oh,
some manifestation stuff. So maybe some journaling, letting go of old stories, creating new
wow.
ones. Yes, and then we do a yoga flow and then some gentle stuff so you can restore, and then you get the sound healing at the end. The whole thing's an hour and 45 minutes. So it's longer.
Wow.
So we have time to do everything. And it sounds long, but it always goes so quick.
I
And
bet. Yeah.
yeah.
Well, I noticed that something I did notice about the sound healing session that I attended with Adrian Garcia and your yoga sessions. I go in there thinking, oh, this is an hour and
Yeah.
15 or whatever, and it goes quick.
Yeah.
You're like, whoa. And then
Yeah.
next thing you know, we're doing the 90-degree thing on the
Yes.
wall.
Box
You box
pose.
pose, and then we're shavasana at the end, and then
Yes.
it's over. And I'm like,
Yeah.
oh wow, I feel cleansed. And
Yeah.
it just kind of goes quick because time seems to stand still
Yeah.
given the energy that
Yeah.
you're experiencing.
Yeah. I always notice that in the sound healing too. I heard you
Oh,
guys talking about that on your podcast,
oh,
that
mm-hmm.
the time does it does feel time disappears. You
Yeah.
like you don't know, like, was it 5 minutes or an hour? I have no idea. Like, yeah,
Mm-hmm.
time definitely disappears. Yeah.
Yeah, it's really
Which is
amazing.
beautiful. That's what happens when you're in spirit, you know?
Oh, for sure. For sure.
Yeah.
And, speaking of energy, I'm just wondering, like, how do you protect the energy in the space? Like, what if somebody comes into the space that's, kind of disruptive? What does that happen ever? And if so, what do you do about that? If somebody's, clearly, giving off some vibes that are just not healthy for the dynamic.
Yeah.
Does that ever happen?
Um, there's been some things throughout the years.
Mm-hmm.
But honestly, for the most part, I feel like sun and moon is energetically protected, honestly.
Oh, mm,
Like m- most people I've met
mm,
have been amazing, or if it wasn't an energetic connection,
mm-hmm.
they went away. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
But of course, I mean, people are people and
sure.
things, but there's never really been anything like
Huh?
any ever if there ever was, like, it was always a loving disconnection, I guess. I
Huh?
think we don't yeah.
That's
Yeah.
doesn't surprise me at all, given that you're kind of creating this almost like a bubbling or cocoon effect with the energy that surrounds that place. And so I
I'm
guess,
also, like, so easygoing
yeah,
too.
you
I
are.
love practicing being unbothered, and
Mm-hmm.
I feel like most people that are coming to yoga, we don't know why people are there, and they're now
Mm-hmm.
everybody has their own stuff going on in their life, and
For sure.
I like to try to make I think that, obviously, as long as you're not being disruptive or rude or something like that, that
Mm-hmm.
we all deserve to take up the space, like,
Mm-hmm.
and that we should treat everyone that same way. Like, some people will at studios, they'll lock the door right away, like right as class starts. I give people a couple minutes to slide in if they need
Thank you.
to.
Thank you.
Like, if somebody is like does come in loud or disruptive, to be honest, I use it as like practice. Like, it's
Mm,
not about controlling all the outer circumstances
mm,
that brings peace. It's the inner work. It's not about the things around us become like it's not about the things that bother us going away. It's
mm.
about becoming unbothered by those
Oh,
things.
wow.
So when that stuff comes in, yeah, it's just for me an opportunity for all of us to
So
practice.
you're saying for our
Yes.
audience members that people can become
I
less
would say
bothered by life around them? Is that
I
really?
recommend
That could
it. I
happen?
really recommend it.
Huh.
I really do. Instead of trying to make the things that bother you stop existing, try to become unbothered by them. Try that.
because I noticed that you've said that many
Yes,
times, and
because
it
we
hits
can't
me.
make those things go away. I've
Yeah.
got things that bother me. Trust me. I'm human too, but I have realized that I can't control all that.
Mm.
And so I got to do what I can in here. And then so I'm practicing it every day. Yoga is life, life is yoga.
Hmm.
And then it's actually amazing because I get to go share that. Like
Mm.
I'm having all these realizations. I'm
Mm.
living life.
Mm.
Things are coming at me. Challenges are coming at
Mhm.
me. Life's blessings, challenges, all of it coming at me. And then I get to go share it. Like it's a gift. People think I'm giving a gift, but I'm getting a gift every
Mhm.
time too. I love it. Like I love sharing it. I love hearing that people received it and
Mhm.
having them share what they received from it. I
Mhm.
love that. I love the whole. It's so beautiful. It's such a blessing.
And what do you do to prepare yourself mentally just before you do a class? Is there a ritual that you have?
So I do my breath work and my meditation in the
Mm.
morning.
Mm.
I drink a glass of water first thing, actually. Water, coffee, meditation.
Yeah.
And that's basically what I do to prepare. Sometimes I'll like prepare a yoga flow, but a lot of
Mm.
times I'll just go off the cuff too. And like
Uh-huh.
I'll think of a body part I want to work on or an energetic piece I want to work on, and then I'll just flow it out from there.
Well, you've got a lot of options in your toolkit, to
Yes.
the point where you can flow with it.
I really like to I really like to let it flow too. I really like to channel
Yeah.
and I don't think not like I'm I mean I think we can all be psychic. I haven't gotten quite in touch with that
Mm.
fully yet,
Mhm.
but I definitely do get into this flow state where it just comes through me
Mhm.
and yeah, I like to go there. And sometimes if you have a plan that blocks that a little bit.
Yeah. Well, you're also, I would imagine, reading the room because you're
Exactly. Sometimes I come in with a plan. I'm like, okay, we're not going to do that today.
right.
So,
So you
yes.
have to be flexible in the
Yes.
moment for sure.
But life always offers me things to teach. Life always offers me to I swear to God, like on the way to class, listening to whatever I'm listening to,
Mhm.
listening to a podcast,
Mhm.
listening to an audible book, listening,
Mhm.
oh, uh the universe just always offers me what I'm going to teach.
Well, you mentioned Abraham Hicks earlier.
Yes.
Who else do you listen to for inspiration and
Yes.
insight and wisdom?
I love Abraham. I love Wayne Dyer. I love
Mhm.
Louise Hay.
Mhm.
I have just been reading these books by Laura Lynn Jackson, this book
Okay.
called Signs. And now I'm reading this book guided, like guided to an illuminated path
What
or
is
something.
Signs about?
So yeah, she's a psychic medium, which I didn't even know when I picked up
Mhm.
the book. I was going on vacation. I wanted a book to read
Okay.
and I love signs. Like I said, I love angel numbers and like, I'm just like really in tune to just signs from the universe, synchronicities,
Gotcha.
signs.
Gotcha.
I believe in divine timing.
Mm.
And yeah, so I saw this book Signs. I was like, sign me up. And it was immediately magical. Like as soon as I opened the book, I started seeing crazy signs. Like she would read it, and she would say it. I was listening to it on the way from work. She would say something and I'd look up and then I'd like see what she just said or experience what she just said. It was
Huh.
pretty crazy. Really, she's amazing. I highly recommend
What
checking out
is her name?
Laura Lynn Jackson.
Laura Lynn Jackson.
Signs, Guided, The Light Between Us is another one that I haven't read that yet.
Mm.
But yeah, she's been super inspirational. It is a lot about connecting to spirits and
Mhm.
like loved ones that have passed on. There's a lot of stories of
Interesting.
yes. But beyond that, I just feel like it really has been this is something that I've found connecting to my own spirit,
Mhm.
connecting to myself has really just connected me to universe, to God, to spirit and all spirits all around. And then I feel like this book found me and it was just confirmation of everything I already
Was
know.
this a religious type of practice for you? Or is it a separate and apart? And how would you kind of
Yeah,
define
no,
those
I
two?
know. It's so funny.
Because, religion is a
My
very
mom
specific
recently
thing.
said, like, yeah, like, when did you get so like into God. Like she
Uh-huh.
recently said that, you know.
Oh,
I was
interesting.
born, I'm Jewish, my family's Jewish.
Same.
Um yes. But I like to say I'm Jewish. Like I'm not I don't like go to temple or practice. Like,
That's
I feel like I'm
funny.
a terrible Jew.
I've never heard that before. That's really kind of ish. I'm
Exactly.
Jewish. It's a good one.
But yeah, so it's not religion, it's spirituality. But it has made me more interested in religion, to be honest.
Huh,
Like I
interesting.
I, I have been feeling the call to just dig deeper into all of it. Torah, Bible,
Huh,
like yeah.
interesting.
Yeah. But yeah, that's what I've just that's what I found. That me connecting to my own spirit through
Hmm.
all of these years has just culminated in me connecting to everything. Everything
Mm-hmm.
is spirit and
Mm-hmm.
energy. And yeah, and then then I get to bring that into the studio, and we get to move our bodies and move our energy and breathe and connect and love ourselves and love one another and connect to all that is. And yeah.
Yeah, it just kind of dawned on me and thinking, what would you be doing right now if you didn't find yoga? But there
I
is
know,
no
it's
if.
wild.
It's
Right.
that it
No.
happened for a reason,
Exactly.
obviously. And I remember being in your father's clinic after I first took a session with you, and I was talking to your mother, and I said, "Oh yeah, no, this is what you should be doing. It's obvious." And it was clear, and it's wonderful to see people doing what is clearly their calling. And I think, for everybody, they're wanting to do that if they haven't found that. And, I love talking to people. And,
This is the thing, though, about that.
mm,
So many people are looking for their purpose and for their calling.
mm,
And this is something I learned from Abraham Hicks that I
mm,
love so much.
please.
That that you should stop looking so much for that, for
Mm,
your like what you're supposed to do as your career, even
mm.
if you haven't found it yet.
Oh,
And you should just do all the things that feel good. You should just go out there and keep doing the things that feel good to do. Like if a yoga class feels good, go do that. If singing feels good, go do that. If taking a walk feels good, go do
mm.
that. If eating a chocolate cake feels good to you, go
How
do
much
that.
chocolate cake?
I mean, obviously.
Yeah.
But I'm just saying,
Okay.
that is our guidance system. That's our
Mm,
internal GPS, is
okay.
our hearts, is what our heart is telling us to do. And it doesn't necessarily have to be this big giant thing. Oh
Right.
my gosh, what is my calling? What am I supposed to do in life? Like
Um,
go play some pickleball, meet some friends, and you
mm,
don't know where that's going to guide you,
right,
who
right.
you're going to meet, where you're going to go from there, you know?
And I think there's a distinction just for people listening this to think, oh, well, I should just go be a self-absorbed hedonistic fool. And you're not saying that at all.
No.
You're more saying, probably with some nuance, which is, gravitate toward things that really light you up and enrich you.
Yeah, and
And
don't do things that don't hurt other people. Don't push other people away to go over to go do it. Yeah,
yeah, yeah.
be kind to treat other people the way you would want to be treated. Like,
Yes.
yes.
And it seems that yoga kind of brings out just all the goodness in folks, all their innate goodness that's there, that's kind of being masked and pushed down to try to survive in our pretty intense culture that we have in
Right.
this country. And particularly with social media, um, it kind of gets you to slow down your mind to a degree and get present to what's really important.
Exactly. We quiet the chatter in our minds
Mm-hmm.
so we can hear the truth, so we can hear the quiet whispers of the truth. Yeah,
Mm.
in our society today, so much rush, this, that, your phone is constantly dinging, like
Mm-hmm.
just all of it. And so many of us don't give ourselves the opportunity to slow down, to
Yes.
quiet down, to be still. And then, or if we do, it's mixed with guilt. We
Yeah.
feel so, I
Yes.
shouldn't be sitting here. There's
Yes.
laundry to fold. There's,
Yes.
yes.
Yeah.
And we need to just honor the need to rest and be still and realize it isn't a waste of time. That's why I make people do it in my
Yes.
classes,
Yes.
because
Yes.
it's like, this is not a waste of time. This is part of what is going to give you a fulfilled life. This is what's part of what's going to connect you back to, yeah, you got to be present for life. We all know it goes so fast. Next
Mm-hmm.
thing you know, here we are. It's been this many years. We've grown this much. All this has happened. And if we're not present, we miss it. And then
Mm-hmm.
when it's all over, we're like, yeah, that was heaven. Me being there with my family, me doing this, that was heaven. And I was all up in my head, worried about everything, you know? So yoga
Mm-hmm.
gives us the tools, the practice to bring that into our lives. Get present on the mat, find it on the mat,
Mm-hmm.
and then you can bring it into your lives. You can bring it to work. You can
Mm-hmm.
bring it to your family. You can bring it to your vacation, hope,
Mm-hmm.
and you can actually be there for life.
And it's really daunting though to, I can feel it in myself sometimes, and I would imagine most of our audience members can feel that, where it's kind of daunting to not be connected or doing something or what have you. So when I'm in your class in a group setting with your spirit enveloping all of us, it gives me permission to do that. But and it's not that anxiety isn't there. It allows me to just be actually it's it's really it feels really good, in a peaceful way. And I think we're all looking for a sense of peace. I think a lot of that happened during COVID when we were
Yeah.
forced to slow down and look at ourselves and reflect on what we do and how
Yeah.
we operate. And I think that yoga speaks to a lot of that.
That was
And
like a really hard time for us too, because I mean, not only that, because the physical studio was closed down and all of that,
Mhm.
but people were scared then to connect. When we came back, people were scared to breathe in a room together.
Oh, totally.
People,
Yeah, I
scared
bet.
to touch. Like I was scared to adjust to touch people. Like I didn't
Mhm.
want anybody to feel like they had got my cooties or whatever. But it is like we need that. Like
Mhm.
we need that for our spirit. We
Yeah.
need that connection. We need to feel safe together. We
Mhm.
need to we need to have that community connection. Like I'm so glad we made it through that and that we
Mhm.
can still hold space for that and that people did come back together.
For sure, for sure.
Yeah.
So it's really nice.
I wanted to tell you
Sure,
something.
please, please.
So, like I said, I was listening to one of your podcasts, the
Oh,
sound healer guy.
Adrian.
Yes, I
Yes,
was listening to
Garcia.
that.
Mhm.
And he was like talking some like scientific stuff and it was a really good podcast.
Oh,
And then,
thank you.
and so I'm on the way here on the way to work this morning listening and I'm like thinking like, oh gosh, like, am I good enough to do this? Like, I'm like, I don't like, am I gonna have to
Perfect.
like quote like science? Am I worthy of this? And then I was like, Carlie, like, what are you talking about? What are you doing? And it had me just realize that this is what came up from all of this. I'm like
Mm.
the teacher, and this is what yoga teaches us, which
Mm.
is over and over again. Yoga is life, life is yoga, and that this is how we live it.
Mm.
That the teacher is within. That's what yoga teaches us. That
Mm.
everything we're seeking is within. Everything we're looking for is within. That's why we close our eyes and we look inward and we meditate, because all the answers and everything we're seeking and God is within.
Mm.
And so I'm over here thinking like, do I know enough? And then I'm thinking, yes, I know everything within, and it's my experience that makes me know. It's who I am that makes me know. It's what's inside of me that
Mm.
makes me know more than any books I've read or trainings I've done or
Mm.
anything like that. Like Adrian is talking about vibration, and I'm
Mhm.
like, what science do I know about this? And I do know a little, but what really came to me was like, I don't need to know any of that stuff. I know I'm vibration because
Mm.
I have felt myself vibrating.
Yes.
Like the teacher is within. Like I don't need,
Mm.
and I heard you talking about this thing, and this has just it's been something I've been ruminating on a little bit.
Mm.
People are like scared about, they don't want to get too woo-woo. Okay.
Yes, yes, yes.
And I'm just like, whatever. Like, let's not even be too scared of, like, let us connect back to spirit and unseen and something that we can't prove scientifically. Like, who cares? Like, I think that's something we need to get, like, stop making it a stigma to be spiritual and to not have proof and believe in something.
Well, it's interesting, given that you just said that. I find it very interesting the labels people reach for to be able to dismiss things.
Yeah.
Like a perfect example of that is a conspiracy theorist.
Right.
It's like, are conspiracies happening all the time? Hell yeah.
Yeah.
You think, I saw this comedian recently that said, so wait, he was talking as if he was talking to a friend of his. So you don't believe in any conspiracies? You think the government's just batting 1,000? That's a heavy statement to make. I mean, I can refer to very specific conspiracies that were true because I studied international relations in undergraduate school. I mean, I learned about conspiracy after conspiracy
history.
that actually history.
Yeah,
It's just,
like they've come to be proven true.
Totally.
Yes.
And so to just, it's
that is the same idea. It's like, it's delusional. You're crazy until it happens.
Exactly, which is kind of weird. So what, I think what you're advocating is don't let that stop you from learning about something that could be really helpful.
And then that's another thing that even I've thought this to myself in my own practice, because this stuff is wild. That when you feel yourself floating and vibrating and you're not on any drugs, like you're like, this stuff is wild.
Yes.
And you might think to yourself, am I crazy?
Yes,
But
yes.
it's like, let go of that. No, you're not. You are connected and you are touching on to something deeper than, like,
Yes.
some people can't even go there because they're so blocked that they can't, like, when you say I don't believe it, you're blocking yourself. You know what I mean? Like, that's what
Totally.
Louise says. Don't say, don't.
Well, this reminds me of a news report that I saw many years ago, and there was a clinician that worked with Parkinson's patients. And she was documenting the power of the mind. And it was a placebo-controlled experiment where they gave half of the Parkinson's patients a placebo and half of them their regular medication. And there was absolutely no difference in the people that got placebo versus how they normally react when they get their medication.
Right.
That rocked me to my core. This was many years ago.
Yeah, the placebo effect.
Yeah, and the power of belief,
Yeah.
and which is really, really stunning. And for years, I used to tell my wife when she would get a touch of something and maybe getting sick, she's like, oh, well, I think this is just a 24-hour thing, and I'll be okay in a day or two, and da-da-da. And I used to think that was just so ridiculous. Now I have a very different perspective about that. I think
I never plan on being sick.
There's a power of intention. There's a power of thought manifesting in the body.
Yes.
I'm very clear that emotions can be stored in the body. I'm very clear that trauma can be stored in the body. And I think that there's ways to release that. And I think we're just scratching the surface with this. But also, given that you just mentioned Adrian Garcia, the sound healer that we had on, I do want to talk more about the science, and he referred me to a scientist who will explore the science behind frequency healing, because
it is amazing that science is meeting spirit. It's amazing that now, because it is making people believers, and like you said, believing is really everything, honestly.
Yes. And not believing I think believing in a real way, in a responsible way, in a critical way. I think critical analysis is really important. I think science is beautiful. I don't think they're mutually exclusive. I think they're intertwined.
I believe there are some things that, like, we not only that are unexplainable, but I think that's just part of, like, I think this is part of the thing that we need to stop having to understand it all. I think that's like part of the thing. We get so attached to just like, I need to understand why. And it's like sometimes that drives us to so much struggle and so much. It's like sometimes we just need to like let it be magic, or let it move on without understanding, you know? Like I think it is a beautiful thing to bring understanding to something. Don't get me wrong.
For sure.
But I think some things we could also just let remain unexplainable and magical too.
Bask in the mystery of it.
Yeah.
I mean, because there's certain musicians, specifically the ones that I'm in my current band with, that I definitely click with. I mean, I remember when I met Jesus Ledesma in my band the first time, and we're just like, we were in an ensemble class, and we heard what each other were doing, and I was like, and he heard what I was doing. And there was an awareness.
Yes.
There was a listening. There was a presence.
Yes.
And
soulmates.
yes. And it was and I don't know how to explain that, and that's okay. I just knew it was there.
Yes, exactly.
And so I think that's what you're really.
That's
speaking
amazing
to.
that you're open to that, though. Like a lot of people, just that you could even see that as beautiful. A lot of people, even though they might have that experience and make a best friend, they might not realize like this is a divine connection. This was,
Yes.
like we're soulmates meant to be.
And then on the flip side, though, some things do demand analysis and critical thinking. So, for instance, you may think you know about a person, say, in the public arena.
Right.
But are you being told what to think of them?
Right.
Or have you really
Or
honored?
is sometimes blind faith is just like something we used to believe in and we're not willing to change our minds about too. You know what I mean?
That can be very dangerous.
Yeah, exactly.
And so you're actually being led to believe this person is evil or this group is evil, and maybe actually you're just being fed this, and you haven't really listened to them, like directly in context. And I see that all the time, and so I think it's a fine line. But I think being in the mystery of life is a beautiful thing. Absolutely. You know, yoga has a certain culture just in this country, I would guess, for lack of a better phrase. And obviously every yoga studio is different. Is there anything about, the modern yoga culture that maybe you don't really care for that could be better? Is there anything about that you could speak to?
So I try really hard not to not to judge or like down talk anyone. But one of the things, just like the corporate yoga thing, just like how and that's not to say there's good teachers everywhere and good intentions everywhere, but they've made it this cookie cutter thing that I think it takes the freedom out of it, really is what it does. Like I would never require of my teachers some of the things that they require of the teachers at these other places.
Like what
like they just like make them do you have to do this for this amount of time, this for this amount of time. You have to use these certain words. These are I was taught at my training that like people say things like the Sanskrit language is, people say things differently, not to attach to any of it. And then it's just like, I do think, it takes some of the stuff, takes the freedom out of it, and just the individual connection out of it a little bit. But I will say that it has brought people through the door of yoga quite a bit. These bigger studios have gotten people into it, and then they've wanted to go deeper and check out some spots. But I would say support your local yoga studios and small businesses if you can. It's definitely it's a different feeling, it's a different vibe.
Yeah, for sure. And do you think that yoga has the potential to get people, I kind of already figure how you'll answer this question, but does yoga have the potential to have people realize that the body can heal itself in a more natural way than what we're led to believe in this country, given the healthcare system?
I believe so. I think so. I think that we have the power to heal ourselves. I do.
And yoga seems to just inspire that. I can feel it in myself. It renews my capacity for that mode of thinking.
Yes. Also, like you said, it's the mindset thing. Like I said, I never plan on getting sick. I remember Wayne Dyer once, he was like, we start to get like a little tickle in the throat, and all of a sudden we're like, okay, tomorrow I'm gonna have a headache. Tuesday I'm gonna feel this, and on Thursday I'm gonna have to call out of work. You know,
Totally.
we plan the whole thing.
And then it happens.
Yes.
Just how we planned
exactly.
it.
And it's like, did we manifest that, or was it already gonna happen? I don't know which happens first, but it's like that really hit home for me.
Yes.
And now I'm like, I never plan on feeling bad. Even if it is going to happen, I'm not going to spend my mind space doing that. You know what I mean?
Yes.
The idea of thinking best case scenario instead of worse, of using your imagination to picture it all working out instead of all falling apart is a big mindset shift.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Wow, that's
and I
huge.
actually just heard this in the book this morning by Laura Lynn Jackson, and I've heard this before. You might have heard this before, that life isn't happening to us. It's happening for us.
I sure have.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's everything.
And it's like, and that's, again, just a perspective shift. Like it's all happening for us.
Because, it really does come down to how are you relating to your life?
Yeah.
Everything is a matter of perspective.
Yes.
And so if you think in terms of life happening to me or to us, then you're a victim and you're just at the mercy of life. But if it's happening for us, all of a sudden, all of the ups and downs, particularly the difficult moments, are gifts and something to learn from and grow from. And that alters how you react to life. And we always have a choice. And I think yoga is just another really powerful avenue to empower ourselves, to remind us of our own power in this particular arena and in a lot of other arenas, to take back our health.
Yeah. Yeah.
Wow. Well, it's been nothing short of a pleasure to have you here, Carlie. You are a vision and a source of light. And I appreciate you, and I can't wait to get back into the studio because it's been some time, and it's really, absolutely.
I told you we miss your energy at the studio.
Absolutely. And is there anything else, any parting shot or anything you wish I had asked, or anything you'd like to leave our audience with?
I feel like we did pretty good here.
Yeah, we sure did.
I'm sure I'll leave and be like, I should have said that.
Yes, for sure.
But that was great. Felt like a good conversation.
It was excellent. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Pete.
Thank you for tuning into the show. Today's episode was produced by me, Steve Ordauer. The technical producer and editor for this episode is Adam Shakur, and our social media manager and graphic artist is Carrie Tanner. If you enjoy this podcast, make sure to subscribe to hear more compelling episodes on Rhythm of Life, and keep an eye out for our upcoming series of how we as a society often incentivize all the wrong behavior here in the United States. We see this in the healthcare industry, the media, and in our educational systems, to name a few of the fields we will be covering. We will also be launching another podcast very soon called Ambiology, that takes a look at the left-right political spectrum from a historical perspective. It will be a deep dive into this paradigm that is conventionally thought of as static, but has shifted significantly over time. Ambiology will also examine the significant role public relations, also known as propaganda, has played in shaping perspectives on critical issues in the country. If you have a moment, please leave a rating and review so more people can hear about us, and share about Rhythm of Life on social media, and like us on Facebook. Thanks for listening. I'm Steve Ordauer.
This has been a Rhythm and Light production.